Alright, you ready to get spooky?
Let's get spooky. Hi, the Grinch was once my sleep paralysis demon, Kira.
Hi! I stole Bigfoot and I hid him somewhere, but I'm not going to tell you where. Emily!
And welcome back to Gremlins by Nature.
A podcast where we talk about whatever comes to our little gremlin brains, and we can't talk properly.
No, we cannot.
Nope. Today, we are going to get spooky, and we're going to talk about, I think we're starting off with our favorite cryptids.
We are. Ooh.
Starts off, Kira.
Oh my God.
Who's your favorite crispy cryptid?
Well, first of all, I am a big fan of Mothman, but the Fresno Nightcrawler has a very special place in my heart.
Fresno? I can't hear Nightcrawler and not think X-Men.
I know, right? If y'all don't know about cryptids, just these freaky little guys that live everywhere in the world. And I've encountered a few real-life ones in my college days, but we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll talk about that later.
But, alright, for the one that I shall be talking about, the Fresno Nightcrawler, picture this. A humanoid-like creature. Doesn't have any arms.
What?
Yeah, stay with me. Doesn't have any arms. About 7 feet tall. Pure white.
Why are they all 7 feet tall?
I don't know. Mainly leg. Kind of looks like if you took, like, a ghost and, like, gave it legs.
So, like, Slenderman, but no arms.
Yes.
Gross.
Perfect. I'm sorry. Just, like, I like how people respond when I describe him.
Ugh.
So, as, like, the name implies, the Fresno Nightcrawler is from Fresno, California. There has been...
I didn't even click in that was, like, a place name. I was just like, oh, that's a funky name for a Nightcrawler. But that is a location.
Fair enough. Any of y'all in the States, you probably know about the Fresno Nightcrawler. He's also referred to as the Fresno Alien. And he has been sighted in other places, such as the Yosemite National Park in California, and one sighting in Poland.
Poland? How'd he make it all the way over there?
I don't know.
He's a speedy boy.
Must have bought a plane ticket.
Soaring, flying. I don't know why that popped into my head, I'm sorry.
It's good, though. So, he's been in so many, like, different places, and usually it's by, like, farms, or, like...
Them farmers be seeing everything.
I know.
I feel bad for farmers.
One of the witnesses of it in 2014 was a 60-year-old farmer. Oh, that says former Marine. My goodness.
A farmer Marine?
Former Marine.
Farmer Marine? What are
I
they
can't
doing?
read. But he is mostly like found around like farms and like forest areas.
Oh.
And usually, as the name implies,
I'm
at night.
never gonna be a farmer. Never a farmer.
I know. Too many
cryptids.
crop circles everywhere.
Everywhere.
I feel like we're already off base with this. You want to start it again?
No, you're good. We're good.
So, like, this guy was, like, driving home on, like, a Friday night, and he was, like, coming home from one of his, date, like, you know, like, when, like, you go on, like, leave from, like, service when you come home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was on his way home
Mm-hmm.
on a Friday night. The spookiest of nights.
The spookiest of days of the week.
It was the 12th, so it's, like, almost Friday the 13th,
Oh,
but,
shit.
like, not quite.
Not quite.
Spooky.
Close enough.
And he, he's, like, in his truck, and he's going up, like, a small incline, so, like, you know, like, trucks are, like, usually, like, standard, so, like, he kind of have to, like, ram it up.
Right.
This little, weird, alien-like creature runs out in front of him.
Little the fucker 7 feet tall.
I know, but, like, that's how they describe him.
Okay.
Little.
Okay.
Scrawny.
Scrawny. Small.
Sickly.
He little.
Mainly bone.
I have to joke about it or I'm gonna have nightmares.
So. Oh, I know. And he runs off into the woods. And, like, he's usually, like, described as, like, a pale white humanoid creature. But the fact that they use humanoid, when he doesn't clearly, every depiction that people have, like, ever, like, created of him, he never has arms. Where are his arms?
Yeah.
And apparently, the one that saw him in Poland has a videotape.
Video evidence.
Video evidence.
Damn.
And they believe it to be true because it's like raw footage in the sense of like whoever is holding this camera is shaking with fear as this thing is crawling around.
How could it crawl with no arms?
Like a slug.
Oh. Oh, that's so much work. He's slithering. He's coming for you.
Well, like
He's making his way very slowly.
I don't think I've like explained him well enough. Picture me this.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So like his like top body bit is like
his torso.
Yes.
Okay.
Like from head to like hip region, I guess, is roughly 2 feet long.
Ah.
Yes. The rest.
He squashed.
Rest is leg. 5 feet of leg.
That's my height and leg.
Yes. So imagine this thing. I also don't know if his like joints work the same way. So like and maybe someone from Fresno that knows more about this, please feel free to comment and tell me a little bit more about him, because I honestly love him to bits. But do his knees work in the same way? Because like when I picture like him like
how do knees work?
When I picture him like crawling, like I imagine like his like knees are kind of like backwards and he's doing like this like weird little like golem scuttle across the ground.
How does a 7-foot thing that's 5 feet a leg crawl?
Not well, I'd imagine. That's probably what makes it so terrifying. Imagine it running at you.
Oh God, I would piss and shit myself so fast.
He's just like
I'd just die right there on the spot. Just
like
goodbye, my soul.
I'm fascinated in how freaky it looks, even though like it would be terrifying to come across. But like all like the like drawing, because like I don't know if you know this, but there's like fan art.
I love that there's fan art of cryptids.
Yes. The fan art makes him look so cute, but like he literally is mainly, he doesn't really even have like facial features in the sense, like he has eyes.
So some full-on Slenderman shit.
He has eyes in the sense of like vacant voids in his face.
So is he just called Nightcrawler because he crawls around at night?
I believe so, because like he's never been spotted during the day.
Because I also think when I hear Nightcrawler, again, thanks X-Men, is just...
I think of worms, to be honest.
Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Yes, Fresno Nightcrawler. Yes, I would
still
love
you if you were a worm.
worm.
I just think of like teleporting around, and that's why I immediately thought of like, oh, is it spooky teleporting? But no, he's just a Nightcrawler creature.
Yeah, like just like anywhere, mainly in Fresno, and one case in Ohio, which
Ohio.
But like it's just always at a very strange time. Usually like getting more towards like midnight and like mainly around like the witching hour too. Which, if y'all don't know when the witching hour is, it is 3 a.m. in the morning.
I hate when I'm up until like 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, it's time to go to bed. I can't witness shit today.
No, I'm like, it's like we're either like laying down at 2:45 and then getting up at 4, or we're sleeping all the way through because I ain't dealing with it.
No, I don't trust it. Not one bit. Like I had to do night checks and stuff because like when I go out with the I'll call it a youth group, with the youth group that I work with, like we would do overnights and stuff, and the kids would be like out camping in different sections of the woods, and obviously as the adults we would take shifts being up at night to make sure nothing bad happens, and so we would have to do rounds and like go walk through the camping sections to make sure that they're all still where they should supposed to be, and I always got stuck with like the 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. shift, and I would just be like 3 o'clock would hit and I'd be like, don't die, I don't want to die today, I don't no spooky shit please, none of it, and we're like out in the middle of nowhere in the woods, so I'm like no spooky cryptids visiting today please.
I think maybe next time you go with your youth group you might want to be careful because he could be right behind you.
Thankfully we live in Canada, no cryptids in Canada except maybe the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, first of all, the Loch Ness Monster is in Scotland. My goodness, woman! And also,
I didn't realize she was in
Canada
Scotland, but
does
Loch Ness,
have their
that
own
makes sense.
cryptids, by the way.
We have our own cryptids? What cryptids do we have?
Most of them are based in like more like Native and like First Nations stories, but we do like can't remember like a lot of them off the bat, but like Ogopogo is a very common one.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing that one.
Yeah.
So Ogopogo? Is that how it's pronounced?
I could be completely butchering it, but every time I've ever heard someone that is not of First Nations say it, they say Ogopogo.
Okay.
I apologize if
Please correct us if we're wrong.
I am terrible at pronunciation.
Can't even say the word.
I can't.
I can't either. Well, that's fascinating. I guess obviously every country has their own cryptids, but yeah, Nightcrawler. He sounds pretty. I don't want any Nightcrawlers down here. Keep them. The U.S. can keep them. We don't want them.
Maybe he'll crawl his way to telling you about your favorite cryptid.
What a beautiful segue. I'm also very happy that you said you enjoy Mothman, because that is who we're talking about today on my end.
Mothman, baby!
You know what makes me the most mad about Mothman?
What?
Let me describe to you what Mothman looks like.
Tell me about him.
Number one thing. Does not look like a moth.
Disappointment.
Very. He is he very much is no way like a moth.
Which is, like, stupid. Why would you call him Mothman?
I don't, like, okay, so Mothman is described as a bipedal winged humanoid, despite his name, which is given to him by newspapers. So, newspapers, get your shit together. Why call him Mothman if he doesn't look like a moth?
Right.
Anyway. He is more of a humanoid owl.
Which, I don't know. Maybe they need to take, like, a biology or, like, a nature class, but I'm pretty sure you can tell the difference between a moth and an owl.
Owl man, ba-ba-da-ba.
I
Maybe it's too close to Batman. They didn't
maybe
want it.
These are obviously city people that don't know.
I guess so. Maybe they'd never seen an owl before. But anyway, very similar to your Nightcrawler buddy, actually. His colorations vary from black, gray, and even brown. Although it is usually... Oh, actually, I guess that's the complete opposite, because Nightcrawler's white, wasn't he?
White or gray.
White or gray, yeah. So he's kind of gray. Although he's usually seen in the darker shades, he is often reported to be about... Take a guess.
7 feet?
7 feet tall. With a wingspan of about 10 to 15 feet.
That's a lot of wing.
That's a lot of wing.
Imagine getting bopped up the side of the head with it.
And the ability to... Can I just say that there is no... Literally in the research that I did for him, it says, like... Literally there's a section on it being a hoax. And that he's not legit. But yet, it has his flight speed. It says that flight wingspan of 15 feet and plus the ability to fly over 100 miles per hour. How do you know how fast he can fly if you don't think he's real?
Technically speaking, if you know what the wing size is, you can actually calculate speed.
I guess that would make sense, yeah.
But still, like, you're really telling me you went to the trouble of calculating when you think he's a hoax?
You think he's not real? So apparently, anybody who witnesses and gets a close look at Mothman seems to suffer from extreme fear and psychological distress. Baby, that's me every day. I don't need to look at no Mothman to go through any of that.
Mental illness.
Oh, God. So, yeah, fun stuff. Oh, and it can apparently last for months or years afterwards. So Mothman really got you fucked up.
You're experiencing some level of, like, psychosis for years from
I guess
this?
so, yeah. Particular people say that the sense of pure evil overcomes them when they see Mothman's eye.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So he can fold his wings back with a weird shuffle that makes witnesses compare it to a penguin. I'm telling you, man, like, the back and forth in this research that I did for him is, like, amazing.
Can we talk about the fact that, like, even though they think that, like, Mothman is a hoax, there is more information on Mothman than there is the Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Like, and I get it. Like, everyone loves Mothman. We all love Mothman dearly in the cryptid community.
Mm-hmm. He is my fave. Which is the funniest thing in the world, because me, as an individual, I fucking hate moths. Real life. I love moth aesthetic. As a bisexual, I feel like I need a moth tattoo, because I feel like that's the tattoo of bisexuals.
It is.
Which I probably will end up with one someday.
I'm sure you will.
But, like, to see them in person, stay the fuck away from me. I don't want none of your fluffy ass business going on over here.
A lot of, like, people's issues with moths and butterflies like when the phobia of them come.
Butterflies,
So-
no issue. Moths, stay the fuck away.
But like most of it comes from the fact that A, they can swarm, and B,
They can swarm.
yes, they can swarm. They're bugs, they can swarm.
Kira, what have you done? Why did you tell me this?
I'm giving you nightmare fuel.
Ah.
But like also they have irregular wing patterns.
Yeah, they get very funky looking.
Yeah, they fly like they're broken.
They look like
And-
they're drunk.
Yeah. And that's what scares a lot of people about it.
Speaking of moths flying funny, I must read you this.
Oh boy.
He is rarely observed flapping his wings except for to take off. Witnesses have often described his flight pattern as straight up like a helicopter. He can fly much faster than any bird should be able to fly, as measured by those victims who suffer from what seems to be Mothman's favorite activity, chasing cars. He'll fly in front of them and even sometimes hit the roof.
Helicopter, helicopter.
Helicopter. He really just is. Maybe that's why they call him Mothman, because he's also like just chasing cars. Mothman, what are you doing? Don't play in traffic.
Is Mothman just Florida man in a costume?
Florida man shapeshifter. Florida man's a cryptid, man. I'm telling you.
We're piecing it together.
We're piecing it together.
That's why they think he's a hoax.
Yeah.
Oh my
Because
god.
he's just, although
It's just Florida man.
Mothman in this instance could not be a Florida man because he is not from Florida, but he is from West Virginia. Mountain Mama.
Wait, by the way, like, all these, like, cryptids, like, showing up in, like, weird places. Like, okay, Fresno, fine. Poland, weird.
Yeah, the first recorded Mothman sighting took place on November 12th, 1966, near Clendon. Again, any West Virginians, please correct me on that. West Virginia. 5 men were in a cemetery preparing a grave for a burial when they saw something they couldn't explain. Lifting off from the nearby trees was a brown-winged creature. The men held to the fact that what lifted off beyond the tree was no bird, but a humanoid. And apparently in West Virginia, there's an old abandoned, like, World War II, I think it is. It's like a little hut that I guess is a main TNT area.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was built for the World War, and I guess it's been one of the most common places to sight Mothman, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot about this one spot here. I guess a strange encounter in the TNT area was a harrowing experience for everyone involved. And on the morning of November the 16th, 1966, one of the ladies was rushed to the hospital by her father after experiencing a nervous breakdown. On the phenomenon, her father stated, "I am a hard guy to scare, but last night I was getting the fuck out of there." So it's like one of the most notorious, or one of the most, not notorious, but one of the like most well-known Mothman sightings is at this TNT area.
It's very infamous.
Yeah, very strange. And then obviously there's continued sightings of Mothman flying through cities in New York. 2 pictures of Mothman have been taken in New York on 9/11. Did Mothman cause 9/11?
Oh, we're getting into conspiracy theories now, baby.
And multiple sightings before the Minnesota bridge collapse. Mothman just out here causing not natural, but like disasters.
Which makes me think more or less that he is actually Florida man.
Oh, no. Now you see, some people believe that it's Mothman trying to warn people of the disasters that are about to happen. I think y'all are wrong. I think Mothman's causing these disasters. He's like, fuck your bridge. Fuck your buildings.
Counterpoint. Mothman is the superhero we need.
Dun, da, 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 Mothman.
Warning you of impending doom. It's Mothman. He doesn't say anything. He causes you existential dread. But it's okay because you are now slightly more aware of your surroundings as a bridge falls down and burns.
But also, you stare into them eyes that just saved your life. You're gonna go psycho for a year.
Oh, she's been sweet but
The psycho.
Hi, we're also full of song references.
Oh, you're gonna hear far too much. Apparently there are explanations.
Please tell me one of them is like the harpy owl, which is like this giant ass owl that like looks terrifying.
Maybe? Oh, is there already an existing owl man? That's why? Hold on. Okay, so the first thing I just read is Mothman sightings have been associated with at least 2 other cryptids. Gigantic thunderbirds
Oh, I have
with
heard.
gray bodies and red heads that were sighted in the same area at the same time by a few witnesses, and Owl Man, which is an identical creature with wings and red eyes, sighted in Cornwall, England in 1976. So England took Owl Man, that's why we call ours Mothman.
Fair enough. Because, like, I do know that, like, there are, like, some, like, discrepancies about, like, where certain things are from. For instance, Bigfoot.
I stole him.
I know.
He's
But
mine now.
Bigfoot, like, is actually, like, when you get into, like, his history of where he is also from California, I believe.
I think
I know that, like, a lot of Canadians try to claim him, but he's not Canadian.
he was seen first time in the Rocky Mountains, which spanned through Canada into the States, right?
Yeah, but because, like, everyone, for some odd reason, like, assumes that, like, the Rocky Mountains are only in Canada, but they're not. They stretch through. It's part of, like, the Alpine thing.
Yeah.
He's on, like, the, like, southern border of it, which is in the States.
Not Canada.
Not Canada.
So, speaking of traveling to different parts of the world, as apparently Bigfoot has, you know what we gotta go check out?
What?
You know what West Virginia puts on every year?
Tell me.
Baby, it's a Mothman festival.
Oh.
They got a Mothman statue. They got a Mothman museum.
Oh my god.
It started in 2002 and is held the third weekend of every September. That's this weekend.
Is it?
That just passed? Or is it? Yeah. No. Yes?
I think it just
I don't
passed.
know. I think it just passed. Anyway, next year. In downtown Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It is located next to the Mothman Museum and the Mothman statue.
You know what we're doing next year.
Oh my. Do you know what all the festival involves?
Worshipping Mothman?
It not only involves a wide variety of vendors,
Okay.
but guest speakers, live music, food and events for all ages.
All ages?
All ages. All ages can enjoy Mothman and his antiquities.
I don't know where to go with it. I don't know if I've ever, like, mentioned this in, like, a previous episode, but I have always kind of wanted to get my degree in cryptozoology, because
Yes.
that is a thing you can get.
Please. That would be amazing.
So, like, this is just very interesting to me.
I also love that this website that I've been doing research off of cites the entertainment in which Mothman is featured. He was featured in the game Fallout 76, which he appears more moth than man. Sorry, I can't read. Was also featured in the book Mothman Prophecies. No, really?
Shocking.
And a movie of the same title. He also appears in many movies and documentaries, including The Mothman of Point Pleasant and TV shows like Mountain Monsters. And my favorite, which is one of the first places I had witnessed Mothman, is from the McElroy brothers' production of The Adventure Zone, where they have their amnesty campaign. And he is an alien psychic and trailer park resident, Ingrid Cold. I'm telling you, you have to listen to the fucking Adventure Zone. It is so good. Their amnesty arc, you would love it so much.
I'm honestly speechless.
Right? I literally, like, obviously it wasn't the first time I've ever been introduced to Mothman in general, but, like, the McElroy brothers, 100% was one of the main reasons I was like, oh, Mothman, he's fucking dope.
I'm genuinely speechless.
Right?
I don't know what to do.
Once again, another thing in Emily's life has been influenced because of D&D. Although I don't think they're playing D&D in the amnesty. I think they're playing Monster of the Week. God, I know too much about the McElroy brothers.
You know
sorry,
what?
No, sorry.
Fine, it's cool.
But yeah, so that is our man of the moth.
The man, the myth, the
moth. I low-key want a Mothman tattoo now.
Do you want to get, like, one of the ones that they, like, do on TikTok a lot? I'll send you pictures later.
Yes. I love the little, like, chibi versions of Mothman. Like, I love them so much. Get a little Mothman to go with my bat tattoo.
Ooh, it's freaking bats.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mothman's great, even though he's not really a moth, but, like, we see him as a moth.
Yeah. Like, anyone who actually, like, draws, like, fan art of him always depicts him as an actual moth, because you'd think if the name implied moth, it's gonna be a moth.
So, Kira, now that we've spoken about our favorite cryptids, what type of cryptid are you? Have you taken the cryptid quiz?
We have taken the cryptid quiz. We took it before we started this episode, because natural curiosity, you know. And I first of all, they didn't list like a whole lot of cryptids like to choose from, because like one of like the questions was, who was your favorite cryptid? First of all, Fresno Nightcrawler, not on there.
Mothman, not on there.
So I chose the Loch Ness Monster because like for a very brief period of time in 2nd grade, I had an obsession with Scotland and the Loch Ness Monster.
Amazing.
I made a PowerPoint.
You made a PowerPoint?
I made a PowerPoint.
That just gave me like a flashback to the one PowerPoint I made as a child. It has no relation to anything we're talking about right now, but I once wanted a ferret so bad I made a PowerPoint presentation for my parents on why I needed to get a ferret.
I love that.
It did not work. I did not get a ferret. But anyway, continue.
But
Loch Ness Monster.
yes. So like I chose him as my answer because I'm like, okay, second best kind of thing. And somehow through my answering of questions that seemingly didn't relate to anything doing to cryptids.
Literally the questions were like, how nice are you? How attractive are you? How outgoing are you? What sports do you play?
How tall are you? And for the record, for those listeners that do not know me, I'm short. I am very close to the ground. I know I'm above 5 feet, but not very much.
I'm 5'3", and Kira's a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah, so
maybe we're around the same height?
I want to say, like, I'm probably, like, 5'2", maybe.
Probably something like that, yeah.
So, but anyway, it gave me Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
Which, I mean, like, cool. Which, fun fact, if you don't know, Chupacabra means goat sucker. Which is very interesting, because goat sucker is, how, like, pretty much explains what Chupacabra does, because
He just eats goats.
He eats goats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emily, my dear.
Yes.
Who are you?
Ah, yes. What cryptid and I? Well, I said I stole Big Mac? Wow.
I'm sorry, listeners.
Yeah, I stole
witch's
Big Mac
cackle.
earlier because I am Big Mac. Apparently I am Bigfoot. Which does not make sense because I'm very small. I am not nearly tall enough to be Bigfoot.
You are buff enough, though.
Yeah.
Don't lie, you're buff.
I'm sure. Okay.
I've seen you at the gym. Like, god damn. She sells herself short, and while she is short in the sense of height, she is muscular.
Thank you. I actually do a lift. I pick things up and put them down. But it's also my favorite, like, fuck you to anybody is, like, when I'm trying to, like, when I'm about to go lift something and people are like, oh, do you need help with that? And I just, like, blank stare them and just lift it up with no problem.
Yes.
I'm like, don't assume, because I'm short and a woman and fat, that I can't pick things up and put them down.
I've had some very lovely piggyback rides on Emily's shoulders.
Yeah, you're also very light, so it's very easy to, like, pick you up and just kind of toss you around.
Yeah, for reference, for a very long time, like, probably from, like, the ages of, like, 9 until I'm going to say 14, I was, like, under 4 feet tall.
We're of the small clan.
We are.
There's a reason my friends refer to me as a hobbit, and all of my social tags are little halfling, because I am small.
Shameless self-promo.
Shameless self-promo.
We need to do it occasionally.
We do. We gotta throw ourselves out there. Also, fish and antlers on everything. Check out Kira's art. She's doing a shop.
It's just fish antlers, but thank you.
Fish antlers? Why did I... Okay, that's my dyslexia kicking in. I thought it was fish and antlers. But nope, I'm just reading it
No,
wrong.
I'm my own personal cryptid. I have decided that, like, my little mascot guy, because I have a mascot. He is adorable. He is this weird fish-deer hybrid.
Love him.
And I'm fish antlers on many things.
Love it. That is wonderful. Well, now that we've talked about our favorite cryptids and what cryptid we are, Kira, have you had any cryptid-esque experiences in your lifetime?
Well.
You did start off mentioning a certain green character being a...
I did.
Sleep
I have
how do you word that?
sleep paralysis.
That one.
So, besides, like, my, like, experiences in college, because I firmly have experienced some very weird cryptic stuff in college, this happened to me as a child. I was not lying when I said the Grinch was once my sleep paralysis demon. Jim Carrey's version of the Grinch.
The, like, best but also worst to have is your sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah. So, picture me this.
Okay.
Alright.
building
Seven-year-old
my mind castle of vision. Okay, let's go.
7-year-old Kira.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping. Having a nightmare. You know, like, the Grinch shows up. For some odd reason, he wants to boil me in lava. I don't understand it.
Okay.
I'm terrified because I'm a child.
Right.
And you can't tell me when you're a child Jim Carrey's version of the Grinch isn't terrifying.
He's a little spooky, yeah.
So I go and like I'm trying to like wake up. And I am firmly awake because I know like my sister could hear me screaming my head off. And like I have my eyes open. But no matter how much I blink and try to look away and try to move, he's just in front of me. He's there. He's coming for me. For years after this experience, just tormented by nightmares of the Grinch. My family
so
likes to make
wild.
fun of me for this.
Oh.
Because, like, I was, like, actively afraid of Jim Carrey's version of the Grinch and most versions of the Grinch for years.
Note to self, don't wear the Grinch sweater my dad gave me for Christmas
No,
last year.
I am fine with him now. Like, I've made peace with it, obviously. But, like, it's just... As a child, when you're afraid of things, don't make fun of them.
No.
Just a little thing, like, and I get it, it's, like, hilarious. Like, it's like, oh, you're afraid of the Grinch, but, like, no one understood the context of what was happening, because, like, you have him as your, like, sleep paralysis demon, and then every, like, night pretty much after that, for pretty much, like, 2 to 3 years, I had a nightmare of the Grinch, and he, like, literally was, like, trying to kill me in
Oh my
every
God.
dream.
That is legitimately terrifying.
I have a lot of weird experiences with dreams.
You really do.
I do.
There's another one we're going to get into in a later episode, so stay tuned for that, folks. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited to hear more about that one.
So, Emily.
I have not had any, I shouldn't say I haven't had any. I haven't had as exciting or as impactful moments like your Grinch.
No traumatizing
No
events
real
for
traumatizing
dreams.
ones, no. I've, like, seen some ghosts, and I've, that kind of stuff, but, like, I guess cryptid-wise or, like, super spooky, none that I can specifically remember. The house I grew up in was, like, it was down a little side private street, and there was only 3 houses on the road kind of thing, and we were actually behind a Ford dealership, so it was, like, kind of in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. But, my neighbor at the time was a friend of mine that I went to school with because her family moved in. We became very close. We went to school together every day. So there was one point in time where she, like, I want to say my memory is very poor, so I apologize if I get any pieces of this wrong. I doubt she would ever listen to this, but if you do, and you know who you are, correct me if I'm wrong. So she had called me one day because she was home alone, and she was like, I'm experiencing some weird shit, and I need you to come over here because I don't want to be alone. And I was like, okay, cool. So this was, I don't want to say it was summertime because I'm pretty sure we were in school, but it was definitely like spring because it was warmer weather, right? And so we go into the house, and we go into her room, and she was kind of telling me that, she was just, like, walking around and cleaning and, like, doing whatever and hanging out, and kept getting, like, this waft of cold air going past her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the face that you're giving me right now. Yeah, imagine. And this is like, God, I'm so bad at remembering timelines for shit like this, but this was like junior high, I want to say. So, like, we're still pretty young, and it definitely wasn't high school. Yeah, so it would have been like early junior high. So she's like, I just, we had to do some homework or whatever, so I just don't want to sit in here alone. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. So I stayed in there with her, and we hung out, and we were just sitting there, like, we got talking and whatever, and we both had, kind of calmed her down from it and stuff, and things were going fine. And then all of a sudden, like, we're both just sitting there, and, like, this huge gust of cold wind goes through us. And she had this little, like, party light in her room that just kind of, like, flicked on and started going. And we're just like, ah, ah. So basically we just sprinted the fuck out of the house and was just like, nope, we're going to go hang out at my house instead. And I think that's what ended up happening. Yeah, I just remember, like, this super cold gust of wind and, like, her light flicking on. And we were just like, nope, goodbye, we're done, peace, don't know who you are, what you are, we're done, goodbye, nope.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So there was that one. And then in that same house that I lived in, We were the second one in. So it was her first, us, and then we had, like, a third person that was down the road a little further that, like, their kids were older and stuff, so we didn't really interact with them a whole lot. But when I was real young, I want to say this was, like, elementary school age, my old house that I grew up in was a split entry. For those of you that don't know what a split entry is, that's, like, when you open the front door and there's, like, a little landing and there's stairs to go up or there's stairs to go down. Like, that's a split entry. So when you come in the front door, you went upstairs, there was a little hallway. There was basically like a wall right in front of you. So you could go right, and there was a little bit of a hallway that then turned left, and then it went into, like, the rest of the house. Or you could go left right from the top of the stairs, and it opened up into the living room. I can remember the layout of this house like I still live there. It is wild. Weird shit that happened in this house that, like, it wasn't really, like, super spooky. This is the spookiest thing I can remember. So anyway, when you're coming up the stairs, there's obviously the wall that's kind of blocking off into the living room. So the wall was probably about 4.5 feet tall, so that you could, like, look over it down to the entryway. And we would always have our TV there. Pretty sure Mom had it set up so that we wouldn't, like, climb onto the back of the couch and, like, try to jump down the stairs or something.
You know, because...
You know, children are stupid. So, so I remember distinctly, like, I can still picture it in my head today. I was sitting there, and I was home from school. Maybe school was canceled or something like that. But I was sitting there, and I was watching TV, and you can see down the little hallway right before it turns left into the rest of the house. And standing right at the end of the hall up against the wall was, like, I want to say at least 6 foot, maybe 6'1", tall, lanky man. He had a big old afro, and he had on, like, a t-shirt and a, not quite like the hippie vest with the fringe at the bottom, but like that kind of style vest, just like long pants on, and he was just standing there staring at me.
That is terrifying.
And as long as I was looking at the TV, I could see him in my peripheral, but as soon as I, like, registered that he was there and flicked my eyes up to look at him, he was gone.
You see, you actually experience paranormal stuff, and I'm here, I'm like, I had a bad dream.
But it's, like, it's one of those things where, like, that, like, I feel like as a kid I wasn't really fazed by it, but then when I thought back to it, I was like, oh my god, that's terrifying. Like,
yeah, because, like, when you're a kid, you don't actually realize terrifying situations are actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, like, your, like, mind kind of filters out, like, all, like, the bad stuff, for the most part.
Yeah. So those are probably my two most oh no, well, I could talk more about this, but maybe I'll save it for another spooky episode. But I did work at a haunted museum once.
I remember you mentioned.
And that was very entertaining. Oh, I guess the last thing I will mention, because it's a very short story. Kira's not a fan of Ouija boards.
I am not. In the previous episode, I made my case pretty clear about how I feel about Ouija boards. But I will do another 10 minutes on it if I have to.
Kira, would your opinion of me change if I told you I've used a Ouija board before? Slightly, yes, that's okay.
I understand people using them. You didn't use it in this house, did you?
I've only lived in this house for a year.
Okay, then I am fine.
I did use it in one of my best friends growing up, her basement that her parents still live in.
It's always the basement. Why y'all conjuring things in the basement?
To be fair, her bedroom was in the basement of the house. Because, like,
why are you keeping your kids in the basement?
Well, no, because she had a bedroom upstairs, but then as we hit, I guess at this point in time, her bedroom wasn't in the basement. But, like, when we got older and we, like, hit high school and stuff, the basement was bigger, so she had made a deal with her parents that if she, like, cleaned it up and emptied it out, she could have the basement as a bedroom because it was more space and it gave her a little bit more privacy and stuff as we were older. Okay. So that made sense. But actually, at this point in time when we used said Ouija board, I don't think her bedroom was down there. I think it was still upstairs. But anyway, so there was 4 of us. I don't remember how she came across owning a Ouija board. I feel like it was just something that, like, her parents had, or, like, maybe a grandparent or something.
Can we talk about how a lot of the times people don't realize how they get Ouija boards?
They just kind of show up.
Yeah, like, sure, yeah. They sell them at Spencer's and stuff, but, like, I think that's the only time I've ever seen someone actually purchase one.
Anytime I've witnessed or have, like, heard of somebody using a Ouija board, they've never been the one to purchase it.
I know.
So maybe she did buy it because we definitely had a Spencer's around that time.
Okay.
And, we had come up to the city a fair bit. Okay, so if you listen to this, you know who you are. Because, again, we're keeping things anonymous. Let me know, how did you end up with that Ouija board? I want to know.
Look, I swear, if you just found that...
Kira might judge you.
No, I won't judge you. I will, figure out how to do cleansing better. Because, y'all need some, higher power.
So, basically, the story of us using the Ouija board was she said, the owner of the Ouija board said, I want to try it. Our 3 other dumbasses were like, yeah, sure, fuck it up, let's go. So I'm pretty sure she just did, a quick Google on how to do it. Don't give me that look. Hey, I was this was late middle school. So this was I want to say grade 9. Yeah, we definitely were old enough to know better, but we didn't. Stop glaring at me. They can't see you, so I'm going to call you out for it. So she goes, let's try it. We have to put 2 fingies each on it. We're going to start asking some questions, yada, yada, yada. So she's the one that wants to do this. The other 3 of us, I'm scared fucking shitless because I am a chicken shit through and through, have been my entire life.
Big mood.
Yeah. So I'm scared shitless. And so we get going and we're sitting down. We all get ready to go and we all put our fingers on it. And I don't even remember how we started it or whatever, but we started asking questions and we started, doing whatever. And as soon as it started to move, the one who wanted to do it the most rips her fingers off the planchette thing.
Which, if y'all don't know how to use a Ouija board, never take your goddamn fingers off of the piece until you close it out.
So then we all started freaking the fuck out because we're like, well, now there's a demon in here and we're gonna die.
Well, of course there's a demon. You opened a freaking portal, you dumbasses.
So we screamed at her until she got her shit together and put her fingers back on the planchette, and then
That's not gonna do anything.
And then we went, okay, we're done. We're gonna leave. And then we did our best to attempt closing it out. And then for I want to say a year, maybe longer, she said that she hated going in the basement after that because she would always, I think maybe even still to this day, she gets weird vibes in her parents' basement. Wee woo.
Okay, so I know I've made my points on Ouija boards in the past, but just because I don't like Ouija boards, I don't want them in the house, I don't want to look at them.
You can not like them, but still want people to treat them properly.
Yes. First of all, if you're going to use them, always read the directions. Do not...
First of all, I love that they come with directions.
Yes. It's great. It's if you're going to summon in a demon, do it properly.
Summoning demons for dummies.
That's a shirt. I'm pretty sure I own that shirt.
Is it?
I think I own that shirt.
Oh, is it one of the ones from Spencer's? That's
yes.
Yes, okay. I do love that.
But, alright, first of all, don't say your name. Don't give it any names. And, obviously, it's not, you don't know what's on the other side of it. It could be lying to you. So, don't...
I don't trust people, let alone spirits.
Yes. And what a lot of people don't realize is that if you're gonna do it, you have to close the board out properly. You can't just say, okay, I'm done. You actually have to verbally be okay, I am done talking to you, goodbye, and move the planchette to the goodbye piece kind of thing. And then I've heard different things on this, but you are supposed to get rid of the board, destroy it, because it is a portal. You might have closed out your session with whatever you were speaking to, but that does not mean it's still not a portal to the other side. So there's that. Also, it says in the instructions, and I'm pretty sure it says on the back of the box, don't play it in a place where you reside. Ever.
Whoops.
Yeah. Y'all dumbasses.
Hey, I mean, I didn't live there.
I know, but... And this goes for anything, because, you can technically make a Ouija board out of anything. You can make a Ouija board out of a mirror. Please don't. Because, mirrors are, those, weird things that, kind of, are portals to begin with. So, if you give it extra energy...
Imagine having making a Ouija board out of a mirror, but then also doing, Bloody Mary at the same time.
Y'all be dead.
Woo! she be coming flying out of that shit.
Yeah, if you all just like take like a minute and like actually like do a little bit more research, you can do it safely. I care about all of you and don't want you to like die because you can summon some bad thing. And I technically have a Ouija board story. I did not touch it, but when I was a youngin', I was in a basement of a friend, and my sister was there as well. They had found a Ouija board box. It was their grandfather's house. Why does the grandfather have a Ouija board?
Why does every old person have a Ouija board?
I don't know. Why y'all contacting spirits?
Are you trying to contact your friends that have died?
Because, like, there's better ways.
Yes.
Like, see a medium about it. I don't know. But, like, they touched it, and, like, they were, like, goofing around with it.
Oh, no.
And, like, nothing happened. But I am so worried that somehow something got attached to me. And, you know, like, this was after, you know, my, like, experience with sleep paralysis demons and whatnot. And just, like, I'm so worried that there is something clinging to all of us that was in that basement that I refuse to touch a Ouija board or bring it into the house.
That makes sense.
So, if y'all were ever, like, wondering why Kira's such a chicken shit, that's why.
I feel like I don't know why I'm such a chicken shit now, because, like, I haven't had any specifically traumatizing events, but I also, in a way, kind of fear death.
Oh god, yeah, death is terrifying.
But not like in a I fear death as in, like, I fear dying. Like, everyone's gonna die someday, but more of, like,
It's what happens after.
Not even that. I'm low-key pumped for the afterlife. What the fuck am I gonna see? What am I gonna do?
See, I'm just afraid that there's nothing.
I get that, and to get a little real for a second, it could be because I lost a friend at a very young age.
Fair.
But it's almost like I get the fear of dying too early.
You know what? That's fair.
Like, that I won't get the shit that I want to do done in my life.
That's
like,
fair.
That part of death is what I fear.
I can understand that, and, like, that's very, like, real and, like, vulnerable, and I'm glad you, like, brought that up.
Thanks.
Like, that's a legitimate fear to have, like, not being able to live your life the way you wanted to.
Well, I think that's why spirits and shit spook me out so much, because it's, like, on one hand, I've always wanted to go to a medium, and, like, because I have quite a few family members and stuff that have passed and things like that, and I've always been curious on who would come through. But then at the same time, it's like, maybe ignorance is bliss, and it's better off not to know, kind of thing. And I'm definitely better about it in my older years, especially where I've kind of taken the time to learn a little more about, I never know what the proper term is for it, but, like, you know, doing more Wiccan-esque or pagan
like the
practicing.
Occults and stuff?
Yeah, like, just being more aware of how your energy and everything can affect how you interact with spirits.
Exactly.
And, like, very much just, as silly as some people can find it, just being respectful.
Does a lot.
In life and in death. Like,
yes.
But also, like, if you were a piece of shit in real life, I'm not going to give a shit about respecting you as a ghost.
You see, I'm just too terrified. My one piece, and we'll get right back to what you were saying.
Oh, no, that's really all I had to say, so.
My, like, one piece about this is that a lot of people think that ghosts can harm you. And to a certain extent, that is true. They can emotionally harm you. But a ghost can't physically harm you. If it can physically harm you, it is not a ghost. It is something else, and you need to treat it as such. That is something that I have stumbled across in my, like, mild studies of vaguely occult-like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a ghost, like, poltergeists can move things, but they don't have they can't hurt you physically.
Mm-hmm.
They can't touch you.
I think my fear comes from just, I understand that there are some things in the world, whether it be science related, whether it be magic, whether it be supernatural, whatever. Like, there are some things in the world we straight up just can't explain. I don't care how hard you try or how hard you want to.
Exactly.
There's just some things you can't explain. That's just a fact that we need to admit as humans, that some shit's gonna happen and sometimes we don't have an answer for it. And maybe, maybe it's part of the reason I don't like moths, and it could be because of their freaky flight pattern, but it's because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle it. Like, if a ghost interacts, I'm like, oh, the what? Hi.
Like,
What do I do?
best
Help.
case scenario I can say for like a ghost, if a ghost or like a poltergeist starts like throwing things, I would very calmly, like I say this when
Hey,
I actually
fuck
do
off.
it. Well, I wouldn't say fuck off.
Stop doing that.
I'd like calmly be like, hey,
Squirt bottle it
can
like a
you
cat.
please like not? Because like the thing is that ghosts are energetic beings. Paranormal is generally energy based. The more negativity you throw at it, whether it is words or just like general, like you're overwhelmed and like giving fear to it,
Right.
the more energy it's going to gather, the stronger it can get.
See, I feel like if I studied this a little bit more, I feel like through our friendship, I'm gonna not be as spooked because I'll learn how to handle shit better.
Like, I'm still terrified. But, like, I at least understand how to handle myself in the case of, like, okay, if I ever experience a ghost,
Right.
I know that it can't physically harm me, and it's just kind of stuck here.
Right.
It didn't ask to be here.
That's always something that I've learned too, is like, most of the time when you're interacting with ghosts, unless it's something that you specifically bring in yourself,
Yes.
it's something that's stuck.
Yeah. They just want to get to where they need to go.
Just want to go home. Just want to go take a nap.
Yeah, they're looking for their afterlife, and like, sure, like, I know that like for like some like Wiccans and witches out there, they have housed spirits, and like they're just like spirits that live in your house, and they just want to like make sure like the house is good because like they either like died there or that's their childhood home, or they just want to like protect you, kind of thing. They're not there to hurt you. They just want what's best, but like because they can't verbalize, we can't comprehend communication with them.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm terrified to have kids, because they say the kids are a lot more susceptible to that kind of stuff.
I know.
If my kid starts staring off into space at or starts talking to somebody, take him. Have him. He's yours.
Yeah. Now, like, if, like I keep saying, if it starts acting out and, like, you are getting scratches on your body and, like, you, like, are getting, like, I don't know, choked, I don't know. Like, it's not a ghost. I don't know what it is. It could be a demon. It could be something otherworldly. But ghosts can only really affect energy and, like, tangible items in the sense of, like, okay, it can technically throw a book. It can change the mood of the lights. Possession is only possible through, like, demons and stuff.
Spooky shit, man.
It is.
What are we gonna do to celebrate Halloween this year?
I don't know. What will we do?
I don't know. I kind of want to do some spooky shit. We used to do a little, like, when we were more into the coven-esque shit, we used to always do, like, little things during holidays, which I kind of miss doing.
Yeah, like
I did like practicing that energy a little bit more.
Yeah, because I think I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. Mabon just passed.
Yeah.
Because like that is technically the fall equinox, which I did technically celebrate through like doing like my simmer pot and energy
Yeah,
cleanse.
that's really cool. Actually, my partner's mom, I should check into it a bit more, but she had given me a spell a day for the last 2 years. I think she's given me one every year on like Christmas.
Oh.
It's like a spell a day book, and I really should get in the practice of like looking at it more, because especially during like the more, I never know the proper term, Wiccan or pagan or whatever. Please teach me if you can or know or whatever. But like, it obviously always has like the holidays and stuff listed in it, and like certain little things that you can do for those holidays too.
Yeah. Like I know that I'm gonna pronounce this very wrong, and I apologize in advance.
Samhain?
Thank you, Samhain. I always get mixed up because of like the lettering.
Yeah.
But like Samhain is coming up, and that is, essentially Halloween. It falls on like kind of on like a different day.
Yeah.
But like it has like the same vibes, and like when you like learn about the history of Halloween, it's because Christianity decided pagans can't have holidays.
The amount of Christianity that literally just went, fuck your holiday, we're gonna take it and make it our own, like Christmas and Halloween and like so many things, Easter.
Yes, which by the way, you can celebrate whatever kind of God, or like you can be any type of religion or spirituality, and that is fine. You do whatever you want. It's just when you start to impress it upon others and like try to force them is where I have an issue. So like if you're a Christian, cool. I know that there's Christian witches out
Practice what you want. Just don't shove it down my throat.
Yeah, like you have to be respectful of it. I personally don't I believe in the idea of there being a pantheon of gods, because to me it doesn't make sense that there's one being with all the power. I personally subscribe to the idea of there being multiple gods with like different like subsects. Specifically, like I kind of follow more of like Greek pantheon, but I, like growing up in like a small town, kind of have like the like Christian vibes, like Christianity, one God kind of thing. I never went to church as a kid.
I used to go to every Friday night youth group.
Oh.
I only went because a few of my friends did, and that was like, hey, more time to hang out with my friends.
Well, yeah. So like honestly, like as long as like you like are like respectful, I will respect your wishes. I just don't like the fact that Christianity did take a lot of holidays and like kind of
forced it upon other people.
And like yeah, all
we can get political in this. I don't really care.
All religions have done questionable things. That's just whether it's paganism, Christianity, like Buddhism, maybe. I don't know much about Buddhism. Tell me about it if you know about it. But like every one of them have had something that is mildly questionable. It's just that taking away holidays that already existed just because they did not celebrate it in the way that you deem fit is where I have a little bit of a grievance.
Yeah, that ain't cool.
Yeah, like, you want to know about Christmas trees for a second?
Sure.
I know we're talking about Halloween, but
it's Halloween, let's talk Christmas trees.
Yeah, let's talk about Christmas trees for a second.
Go for it.
That tradition used to be because pagans brought...
With the Yule log, right?
No, it's actually they brought in pine branches to, like, bring in, like, new energy and... Like,
oh, shit, really?
Yeah, that's, like, why Christmas trees are a thing.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Knowing is growing, sharing is caring.
Well, folks, I think that's all we have on cryptids and fun paranormal things for today. Dun, 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 dun.
Doo-doo-doo.
Doo-doo-doo. Please let us know on socials any fun experiences you have had, any fun cryptids you know.
Yes. And anything that we talked about that like you might know a little bit more about, please leave in the comments. We love to learn new things.
Yeah, we always want to learn. So if we mention something that's not correct and you got some facts to throw in our face, please do it. We want to learn. We want to make sure, even though this is just us shooting the shit and having fun, we
want to be respectful.
Exactly. We want to be respectful, and we also enjoy learning about cool shit. So.
Yeah, and like if we haven't been educated on something,
educate us.
Yes. We are just little gremlins with little sponge brains.
Little sponge brains that sometimes can't form words.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Bye. Bye.